Oh wow. Hi Raiders. Hi Panda. Hi Madly. I'm hoping that this works. I'm really hoping that this works. Because the internet's been having a little bit of an issue. Just in the last like 5 minutes. So we're just gonna hope it works. Hello. For anyone that might be new, hi, I'm Ace. I do things. I do things. Hi, Chef. Um, we're playing a horror BL visual novel currently. That's what Hashihime is. It's set in the Taisho era, Japan. There's time travel and death. And it's spooky. But it's a lot of fun, so if you guys like spooky things, stick around. Why can't I hear Ace? Also, me muted the tab. Oh. Good job. Good job, Panda. So proud of you. So proud. So, quick rundown. Last time, if you missed it, we did not... You're doing good. You're doing great. We did not manage to save, Minakami the first time through. And there was some sacrificing of a teenager to the monster. And now we've reset time again, and we're trying again. Our main protagonist, Tamamori, is extremely unreliable and very mentally ill. He's having a hard time. He's having a hard time. I'm kind of waiting. There's one person that's been keeping up with the whole story, so I'm kind of waiting to see when she pops in. But so our main character has hallucinations of characters. He's a writer. He hallucinates his original characters talking to him. So it may be a little confusing at first, but I promise I will try and explain as we go. The last time he's got two childhood friends that are dateable interests. And he convinced one of them to help tie the other one up in his room to keep him from dying. So, we're doing great. We're doing great. There's a lot of humor in this game. Okay, so Minakami here dies. It's not a spoiler. He dies. And Tamamori does not take it well. And somehow ends up resetting time back to 3 days in the past. So right before Minakami dies. His goal right now is to keep Minakami from dying. The first round, he told Minakami, hey, don't do these certain things and you should be fine. It didn't work. So he's resorted to having their friend Kawase physically tie him up so that he can't go anywhere, so Tamamori can explain that he's time traveled and that Minakami will die if he doesn't listen. So that's where we're at. We've had a couple of deaths so far, but they're not canon in this timeline. There are 4 dateable options. Minakami is one. Kawase, their friend, is the second one. There is a soldier that they all grew up with that is the third one. And there's this little weird freak of a professor. He's not really a professor, he's a researcher. They call him Professor. He's the fourth. I want to bring up right now, before we get really into this. This game is currently on sale. Which story game is this one? The time-traveling gay couple? Yes. Or the do not condone child murder one? Both. They are the same story. Hi, Destiny. Welcome in. I want to mention, this game is on sale currently until Halloween. It is half off on Steam. You can get Hashihime for $20 on Steam right now. 20 USD. So if this interests you at all, I absolutely highly recommend getting it. The basement story was part of the same game. Yes. Time-traveling gay couple and basement child sacrifice are part of the same story. I will say, I am playing the Switch version, which is censored. The Steam version is produced and was published by a different English translation company, so it is not censored. So if you have problems with explicit stuff, maybe hold off until the Switch one goes on sale. But if at all this game interests you, please go buy it on Steam. Because the person that wrote this game has another game that they wrote before it that has never been brought into English. And so, if we could possibly influence them to bring Cocoon over into English by selling Hashihime, I would be so happy. I would cry. I won't question it. I'm sure by the end of it, at least one gay couple will last. Yeah, at least one person will be gay with Tamamori by the end of this. Because that's part of the plot. But, like, it's getting to that point that we have to get to. But yes, so highly, highly, highly recommend this game. It's really good psychological horror. There's a lot of humor, a lot of really out-of-pocket humor, great characters. Clearly, if I've played it for 7 parts, this is the longest series I've ever done. I'm in a financial crisis. Well, if you're in a financial crisis, don't worry about it. I'm about to go to a games convention soon and also spent like £5 on the rest of the My Sims games. That's valid. But if you have the extra and a gay horror dating sim sounds up your alley, highly, highly, highly recommend getting it. It is on sale until Halloween. It does go on sale occasionally, but it is on sale currently until Halloween. So, I highly recommend it. There is some triggering content if you're, thinking about buying it and you're not sure. You can DM me and I will send you the list that I found. Sloanie, there you are. Hi, Sloanie. We were just waiting for you, so no worries. We didn't do anything story-wise yet. I was just explaining that Hashihime is on sale currently. So if you have the money and you would like to own a copy of Hashihime, absolutely do so. Very much worth the $20 that you're going to spend on it. And like I said, the Steam version, if you guys are interested, is the uncensored version. So there are sexual scenes that are not in the Switch one. But I won't have to worry about censoring anything because we're playing the Switch one. Have I gotten, or am I interested in Metaphor? I am so excited for Metaphor. I cannot afford Metaphor. Buy all the visual novels so it boosts the data. Yeah, same. I unfortunately cannot afford Metaphor yet, but when I can, or I get a copy, we will be playing Metaphor on stream. I also own the entire 999 series, and I know Joy said that she was interested in seeing me play those, so we might play those on stream also. Halfway through Leighton and the Spectre's Call, how the mystery unfolds, always my favorite part, going in blind. Oh, is this your first time playing it? The 4th game is one of my favorites, because I love Emmy. I have cosplayed Emmy. Emmy is my girl. I adore her. So I'm glad you're having a good time. Saloni, I don't know what you missed last time. Kawase helped Tamamori tie up Minakami in his bedroom to try and save him. That's where we're at. And now he's explaining that he lied to Kawase to get him to do it, and he knows everything because he's from the future. Yeah. Yeah, and they reenacted a scene from some book that was a little weird, but Minakami was like, if it's for Tamamori, I'll do it. So I've only ever played the first 3 Layton games. Even the Phoenix Wright crossover, I'm completely blind. Oh, fun! Well, I'm glad. You're gonna have so much fun with the second trilogy. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get into it. I gotta finish washing some dishes, so I'll be lurking for a few minutes, but I am here and listening. Okay, as long as you can hear me so that you don't miss anything, that's fine. Okay, so Tamamori just literally was like, hey, by the way, I gotta tell y'all something. So this is the second time you've repeated these 3 days.
Oh.
Yeah.
なんで君がってとこだけど。まあ俺は信じるよ。花沢とは3ヶ月前から会ってたのは事実だし、何よりあの長ったらしい肩書きを知ってるんだ。
The thing that I do know from the second trilogy is Layton does more sword fighting, and I'm down for that. He does. It's very amazing. Why you, though? Well, I believe you. It's true that I started meeting up with Hanazawa 3 months ago, but I believe you mostly because you know that long name. Kawase helped me out by playing along. I looked at Minakami, the one who mattered the most in this situation, but he was still staring at the floor with the same expression on his face.
君も認めたらどう?
Kawase, shut the hell up. We're marked mature, by the way, so you guys can swear. This is a mature rated game. Kawase, shut the hell up. Well, how about it? Why don't you accept your fate to die? No, literally, Tamamori is trying to avoid that. Why would you be mean? Why would you be mean? Kawase is just mean in general, but why would you be mean? He was going to be killed by a random murderer. When he had ignored my warnings, he was killed again. I told him everything, no longer concealing any details.
私の忠告さえ守ってくれればいいのだ。私はお前をみすみす殺したくない。この気持ちを分かってくれ。
All you have to do is heed my warnings. I can't let you get killed, so please try to understand how I feel.
面白い話だな。
What an interesting story. He laughed. Again. With his face still lowered, Minakami continued to smile his tired smile.
類行に80万年後の社会って作品があるだろ？あれは博士が工事機に乗って80万2701年の未来にたどり着いてしまう話だ。
For those that don't know, there's a lot of references to Japanese literature. So you're good if you don't remember. If only there was an 18 plus version of Professor Layton. As a British person, he would absolutely say swears after losing a puzzle. But he's a gentleman. Luke would though. Clive would. I would play an 18 plus version of Professor Layton just to hear my boy Clive be allowed to say the F word. I'll be honest. There's Ruriko's the world 800,000 years later. In that story, the professor rides in a time machine and arrives 802,701 years in the future.
俺にはその冒険譚がそう遠くない未来のことのような気がするんだ。
Right now I have it in my head hearing Luke say, "Oh, I
玉森の
fucked up."
話を聞いているとワクワクする。
I feel like that adventure happens in the not so distant future, so hearing your story gets me excited.
にゃ。
He said the exact same thing last time we tried to tell him, "Hey, just listen to me."
ヘラヘラするな。私はふざけているのではないぞ。
Stop laughing, I'm not joking! I didn't have Hanazawa's silver pocket watch this time. Minakami hadn't believed me when I showed him that, but since I had Kawase to back me up, maybe something would change. Oh, he threw out the pocket watch, didn't he? I felt the frogman would have said, "That's why you shouldn't have thrown it away." Stream idea, which Professor Layton character would swear and which one. Oh, yes. That would be a fun tier list. But I didn't think I'd be going back for a second time like this.
じゃあ信じられないと言ったら
So, what if I said I didn't believe you?
なわで
Tamamori, you can't threaten to kill him when your whole thing is that you're trying to save him. I'll take the rope and tie you up again, I was gonna say, but then I remembered Kawase had cut it apart earlier. There's nothing left I could say to persuade him.
いや、いっそ信じられないならそれでいい。ただ、もう少し私に付き合ってくれないか？
Well, fine, you can keep on not believing me for the rest of your life. But why don't you hang out with me for a little longer?
自作を執筆するにあたって時間跳躍ごっこというものだな。
This was a time travel game for the next story I'm gonna write.
それでふざけていないなら俺も真剣に答える
It's called reverse psychology. He can't kill himself if I threaten to do it instead. If you're not joking, then I'll be serious with you too.
お前の話には飽き飽きしてる
I'm sick of your stories. Minakami, no! You're supposed to pamper Tamamori! You're the only one that gives him what he needs! The one who let out a huh wasn't me, but Kawase. But the words Minakami said went completely over my head. They went over my head, but got stuck in my throat like bones after eating fish from a broth.
もう隠さずに言う
No! My image of you has been shattered, Minakami! You're supposed to pamper him! You don't like my stories, and thus the Cartman is already getting ready. I'll tell you everything.
ちょっと待ってくれ、みなかみ。
Wait, Minakami! He doesn't want to hear it.
私の心の
I need to
準備が
mentally
だな。
prepare.
ずっとお前の物語はクソだと思っていた
Minakami, no! No! My image of you has been shattered! My good boy! I've always thought your stories were shit. Minakami, why would you say that? Huh?
クソだと思っていた
Oh, I thought they were shit. Don't say it twice! No, he doesn't ruin his reputation each stream. This is the first time he's said anything mean. He's been so protective of Tamamori. He was gonna fight Kawase because Kawase was being mean to him. Shit. Would he say something like that? Kawase had certainly called them shit over and over again. Why was the weight of the word shit different when Minakami said it? Minakami didn't look away from me, not even once.
川瀬の言ってることは図星だ本当にお前のことを思えば正直に言った方が良かったのかもしれない
Kawase hit the nail on the head. If I really cared about you, I probably should have told you the truth.
出ていくのは俺の方だと気づいたから出て行ったまでだ
I left earlier because I realized I was the one who should have left.
みなかみ。
俺もここにいる義理はないけどさっきみたいに俺にできることがあれば言ってくれ
I'm devastated. What do you mean, Minakami? Aw, Sophie made a mess. Started knocking things over. I have no obligation to be here, but like earlier, if there's anything I can do for you, tell me.
手伝えたら手伝うよ
If I can help, I'll help. Minakami stood up. I found myself clinging to his body. Ironically, there was a scene like this between Mia and Kanichi in the Golden Demon.
みなかみ。
Anything I can do for you? Yeah, take those words back or else!
話してくれ
Let go.
それが私への
We just started stream and everything's come crashing down. Ah! Minakami, why? Is that how you see me when it comes down to it? Was that it? His true feelings toward me? The ones that weren't written in his notebook?
Emotional damage!
Yeah! Minakami finally shook me off and left as if he were trying to run away. Still sitting on the floor, I gripped an invisible back.
みなかみも言うときは言うね。
I thought he was in love with him! I thought he was in love with him! Why would you say that? So even Minakami speaks up when it's time to speak up.
やっぱりって言いたいところだけど、どうも嘘くさいな。
I want to say I knew it, but that would be a lie.
嘘
A lie?
いや、言ってることについては俺もすごく共感できるんだけど、こうも意見が二転三転するかな。
Well, from what he said, I can totally understand how he feels, but I guess my opinion goes back and forth.
奴は本音を晒したまでさ。
Told me how he really felt.
奴はやっぱり
Really? And I remembered the notebook crammed with his written impressions of the books he had read. There wasn't a single word in there about me. Only Kawase's contact information was written at the back. What's more horrific, the Phantom guy or this betrayal? There was no way I could tell Kawase that. I had just wanted to hear Minakami's true thoughts that weren't written in his notebook. And this was the result. Beyond pitiful. Kawase wordlessly struck a match. First, then the second match were no good, but finally tobacco smoke arose.
あれ？また新しいポスターが増えてる。
Oh, you got another new poster? What was he going on about now? My hobbies were raising goldfish and collecting cowspea packaging. Especially passionate about counting the stars on them. Dots on the packaging weren't just clusters of polka dots. They represented the Milky Way. After I found that out, I ended up looking for packaging with the most stars drawn on them. Oh, he's not coping well. He's not coping well. I don't think either one of them is coping well with this. For once, I appreciate Kawase trying to change the subject.
額縁に入れるほど価値があるの。
Are they even worth framing?
よく見ろ。星が一つも欠けていない。
Finally sitting down to watch properly with a snack. Well, Hi, Clover. Look closely. Not a single star is cut off of this
本
one.
当だ、すごい。あ、金魚は元気かな？
That's really amazing. Goldfish is pretty lively, isn't he? Kawase lifted the paper,
まさに今はの際って感じだ。
like when they're about to die.
楽しそうだな。顔が笑ってるぞ。
I thought Professor Layton was intense. You seem to be enjoying yourself. You're smiling.
君に元気になってほしいからさ。
It's because I want you to cheer up.
結局みなかみのことどうするの？諦めるの？
What are you gonna do about Minakami? Are you giving up?
お前は信じてくれるんだな。
あ
Yeah.
なんでだ？
Why?
あ、なんでって信じざるを得ないからさ。
I have no choice but to believe you. He was probably smiling because this whole thing was convenient for him.
やっぱり辛い。
Rough, isn't it?
当たり前だろ。
Of course. Even though I didn't want this. Even though there was nothing I could do. I didn't want to know. I was drifting through a bad dream.
俺が助けてあげようか。
Why don't I help you out? For some reason he smiled.
助けられるんなら助けてくれよ。
Help me. Help me.
ちょっと触るなよ。
Destiny, once you finish Professor Layton, you should play the Great Ace Attorney for more British mystery solving shenanigans. Oh yeah, I still need to finish that game. Hey, don't touch me.
いや
Even you're rejecting me in the end.
ともかく今夜俺の家に来てくれ。会わせたい人がいる。
Anyway, come to my house tonight. There's someone I want you to meet.
花沢だろ。
Hanazawa, right?
すごいね。このやりとりも経験済みなわけ。
Oh, have you had this conversation with me before?
いや初めてだ。
No, it's the first time.
というかお前の友達なんて花沢しかいないだろうから。
Besides, Hanazawa's the only friend you have. I smiled complacently. Oh no, Tamamori, I'm sorry, baby. Oh. When 7 o'clock rolled around, Toyo Cinema was swarming with guests. But I was standing alone by the entrance. Minakami wasn't coming. I knew that. I just spaced
お
out.
兄さん、そんなとこにいたら風邪ひきますよ。
Hey, Oni-san, if you stay out there, you'll catch cold.
ちょっと聞いてる？
Hey, are you listening? Eventually, he left his wares and came up to me.
キャラメル買います？
Are you gonna buy caramels?
間に合ってる。よそで買った。
I'm good. I bought some elsewhere.
そうっすか。
I see.
ところでいい年したおかっぱ頭のミミズメの男を知らないか？
Also, is this where the depression arc begins? Probably. I don't... He was already not taking things well, and this is not helping. By the way, have you seen a man with a kappa haircut inappropriate for his age and eyes like an earthworm?
ああ、その人知ってますよ。今日の昼に見かけました。
Yeah,
それがどうしたの？
I know the guy. I saw him today at noon. What about him?
その男は一人だったか？
Was he alone?
お兄さん、その人のこと調べてるんすか？それならそれ相当のものをくれないと。
Are you investigating him, Oni-san? In that case, you better make it worth my while.
このキャラメルを君にやる。
I'll give you these caramels.
見てわかんないっすか？キャラメル売っ
We've
て
had
る
the
くらい
same
キャラメル
discussion
食い飽
before,
きてる
but
んすけど。
Tamamori is not... He's not, trying to change anything. He's having a rough time. Selling caramels would make anyone sick of them. Isn't that obvious?
ではせんべいを。
How about a rice
金だよ
cracker?
金。
I want money. Money.
主戦止め。そう言うと思っていたぞ。なけなしの1円をやる。
Cheapskate. I figured you'd say that. I'll give you this useless 1 yen.
ともかく入りなよ。
Anyway, come inside. After closing my umbrella, I followed him into the lobby.
俺、客の顔なんて全然気にしないけどさ。そのお兄さんは昨日の昼もいたからよく覚えてるよ。
Also, for Professor Layton, so far the puzzles I've hated the most are the picture ones because my eyes cannot see things on such a small screen. Maybe I should have gotten the 3DS version. It's fair. I don't usually pay attention to the guests' faces, but that guy also came yesterday at noon, so I remember him.
なんだって？
What?
狂える悪魔。2回も見て楽しいかな。活動なんて安い値段じゃないのにさ。
I guess he enjoyed Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde enough to see it twice. Seeing a film isn't cheap either.
どういうことだ？
What do you mean? Came here yesterday afternoon, too? That mean he was just lying when he said he had classes today? Did that mean he was also lying when he said he was meeting an old friend?
相手はどんな顔だった？
What about who he was with? What did they look like?
相手？一人で来て一人で帰ったよ。
There was the puzzle that made me do maths again. Grr, numbers in a puzzle game. I can't believe it. Who was he with? He came alone and left alone.
今日もそうだけど。
Today, too. I didn't get it. I couldn't help but laugh.
今日は狂える悪魔が最終上映だからサラリーマンでごった返してるけど、昼間なんて閑散としてるぜ。その静けさがいいのかな。
Since today is the last showing of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, the showing is full of salarymen. It was deserted at noon, though, but I guess that quiet is a good thing.
だが2回も見る必要は。
Seeing it twice is point.
ないっすよね。お兄さんの友達さ、頭おかしいんじゃね？
Pointless, right? Your friend is touched in the head, isn't he? Rude.
かもしれない。
I say rude, but I'm also mad at Minakami right now, so... That may be true. Might have been a genuine lunatic.
もう商売になるような話はないか？
There's no other information I can buy off you?
そんくらいっす。
That's about it.
また頼むかもしれん。
I may require your services again.
毎度あり。レコード買ってカフェでかけてもらおう。
Thanks for your business. I'll buy a record and have them play it at a cafe. I left Toyo Cinema. The Frogman and Haruhiko-san crowded under my umbrella.
不思議ですね。
These are his hallucinations for those that have not been following
一人で
along.
活動写真。帝大に行くって言ったのに、これまた一人で活動写真。
How mysterious. Even though he said he was meeting someone, he went to the movies alone. Even though he said he was going to the university, he came to the movies alone again.
玉森くん、川瀬くんの家へは行くかい？
I'm confused on why Minakami was hiding his opinions all this time. Did I miss something? No, he just... Tamamori was having a rough time and was, like, trying to explain the time travel, and Minakami's like, then I guess I should be honest with you too. So... I don't know. You've seen The Lion King and An Inspector Calls. That's cool. I've been to a lot of theater shows, but that's because Panda was in theater. Oh, shoot. Weren't you going to Kawase-kun's house, Tamamori-kun?
そう
I
でしたね。
was, wasn't I? The frogman grabbed my sleeve.
嫌です。怖いです。
You don't want to, I'm scared.
だがあの川瀬くんが玉森くんに花沢くんを引き合わせようとしている。その意図が気にならないかね？
Kawase-kun was going to let him see Hanazawa-kun. Aren't you curious about what he's planning? I wonder if he's actually lying now or something because of Tamamori being weird. I don't know. I think it's more likely that he's not lying now. So glad the school paid for those trips. And as a kid, learning a pack of sweets cost 7 pounds made me sad. Yeah. Understandable.
気になりますけど。
I am curious, but...
川瀬さんは本当に信頼できる人なんですか？
Is Kawase-san really someone you can trust?
できる。
He is.
嘘です、玉森さん。信用できると思い込みたいだけです。
That's a lie. You just want to think you can trust him.
それ以上私に逆らうと本当に消すぞ。
If you defy me any further, I really will make you disappear. Frogman should learn not to speak up against Tamamori because Tamamori is not playing anymore. The Frogman followed me helplessly. He jumped onto Haruhiko-san's shoulder, then swallowed down his tears and closed his eyes. Tamamori is having a rough time. When I got to Ikeda Manor, I rang the doorbell. Kawase quickly came out and gave me an awfully vile smile.
どうしたの君？
What do you want?
どうしたのって、お前が私を呼んだんだろ？
What do I want? You're the one who invited me, right?
冗談だよ。さあどうぞ。その汚いおみ足で上がるといいよ。
It was a joke. You can come in with those dirty feet of yours.
む
I remembered his desperate expression back when he tried to chase me away last time. It was creepy how much his behavior could change, but this time I was a guest. I boldly went through the iron gate and entered the mansion.
花沢には余計な質問はしないでくれよ。これまでどうしていたとか、どこに住んでいるのかとか。
Don't ask Hanazawa any unnecessary questions like what have you been up to or where do you live now.
そう心配するな。お前の花沢を横取りする気はない。
Apparently there's also another Macbeth play coming soon. Starring David Tennant. Perfection right there. Oh, that would be fun to see. Don't worry, I have no intention of stealing away your Hanazawa. Kawase actually responded with a smile at my stupid joke. Before entering the parlor, he moved out of the way into a corner, his smile unchanging, and let me go by. Annoyed by his good boy act, I knocked on the door in front of me.
失礼。
Excuse me. The soldier fell heavily into a chair. In his right hand was a pipe. On the table was a military-issue sword. Without a doubt, it was Hanazawa himself.
どうした？
What's wrong?
いや、
Nothing.
川瀬から話は聞いた。だから、あえて久しぶりとは言わんぞ。
Heard about you from Kawase, so there's no need for me to say it's been a while.
俺にとっては5年ぶりだがな。
Been about 5 years, though.
8年だよ、バカ。
Been 8, idiot.
バカって君ね。
You're the idiot. Kawase, shut up. Hanazawa was alive. My legs shook with a feeling that was somewhere between relief and joy. I took a seat to hide it as I clenched my teeth. The chills were from guilt. Back then, even with his head cut off, Hanazawa's eyes had narrowed as if the light from the lamp were too bright. Oh, right. Hanazawa was the first accidental death in the first route. Even though he was still alive, I had left him behind.
コーヒー取ってくる。
I'll get some coffee.
すまん、ぼーっとしてた。それと、私のコーヒーは牛乳で割ってくれ。
Sorry, I spaced out. Oh, add milk to mine.
めんどくさいな。
What a pain.
何？牛乳だと。俺も頼む。
What? Milk? Do the same for me.
はーい。
Hey. Kawase left the room with steps that could barely hide his irritation. I watched his back nonchalantly. The entire time, Hanazawa watched me closely.
水上がお前の忠告を無視し、何者かに殺されるということまで聞いた。
I heard Minakami is going to ignore your advice and get himself killed by someone.
信じられるか？
You believe it?
半信半疑だ。
I'm somewhat doubtful. Did that mean he somewhat believed me, too? Hanazawa was a secret fan of the Bazaar, so of course he would.
お前は昔から幻覚を見るたちだったろう。これまでに今回と同じような体験をしたことは？
You've been predisposed to hallucinations for a long time. Have you experienced something like this before?
ない。
Yeah, I kind of wonder if he's just playing
何もか
along.
もわからないんだ。
I haven't. I have no idea why this is happening.
願わなかったか？
You didn't want this?
え、
Huh?
やり直したいと。
Start over?
そりゃ思うよ。水上が殺されて、なかったことにしたいと思って、
Does he
私
know
は
about。mysterious mirror man? No. But it's been hinted at by Kawase that everyone that grew up with Tamamori knows he hallucinates because of some kind of trauma that happened when they were younger. Because Kawase tells him a couple of times that he doesn't remember. So it's hinted that it's some kind of a traumatic response. Of course I wanted to. Minakami was killed. I wanted to make sure it didn't happen. Kawase returned then.
早っ。
That was fast.
悪い。
Sorry. You didn't want Hanazawa and I to be alone together that badly? After looking for a while at the coffee with milk in it on the table, Hanazawa looked at me for the second time as I easily drank mine.
熱くないのか？
It's not hot?
いいよ。
No?
冷めたな。
It's cold.
ごめん。牛乳が冷えていたせいだ。取り替えよう。
What do you expect? He poured cold milk into a hot coffee. Sorry, it's because the milk cooled it. I'll get you another. Hanazawa, what did you expect?
だが、
But the taste isn't bad. Oh, is he just trying it because Tamamori got it?
次は温めてから混ぜてみようかな。
Next time I'll try warming it before mixing it in.
それもいい。
That would be good too. Milk shouldn't cool it that much. Well, I don't... Yeah, I don't know. Maybe, he just has bad taste buds. I don't know. I was annoyed by how easily and how frequently Kawase could change his behavior. I glared at him with cold eyes, but he turned an even colder gaze toward me.
何
What?
いや、私は冷めた方が好きだぞ。
Nothing. I like it cold.
あっそう。
Is that so?
だが、人は温かい方に限る。
But people have to like it hot, huh?
お前ら本当に仲がいいな。
You two really get along well.
それはありえない。
Absolutely not.
むしろお前らこそ。
Actually, you two do. Your eyes are surprisingly bad, Hanazawa. Since Kawase would get angry if I were to flare up at him with my remark, I ended up cutting myself off. Hanazawa seemed oblivious, as usual, but Kawase's attachment to him hadn't changed since back then. It had been a while since I had seen Kawase's good boy act, so I was caught off guard, but... I'm just in the way, huh? I swallowed down that mutter with my cough. With my coffee, sorry.
入れば。
Why don't we get to the point soon?
入っていたのに邪魔したのはお前だ、川瀬。
We got to it. You're the one who interrupted Kawase.
邪魔って何？せっかくコーヒー入れてきてやったのにさ。
Oh, stop riling him up, Tamamori! Interrupted? What? I went out of my way to get you coffee.
では本題に戻ろう。
Then let's get back to the matter at hand. Hanazawa rephrased his words. Of course, Kawase and I became embarrassed and turned away from each other.
俺が半信半疑なのは、お前が嘘をついているか否かということではない。
The reason I only sort of believe you isn't because I'm unsure whether you're lying or not.
ただ、この目で見るまでは、確信が持てない性分でな。
It's just because I'm the kind of person who can't believe something without seeing it for myself. It wasn't unreasonable for Hanazawa to doubt what still felt like a nightmare to me. Rather, it was enough for him to even proactively consider it.
まずは水上の死を止めてみよ
First, let's try to prevent Minakami's death.
もう遅いんだ。
It's already too late.
水上は死んだ。
Minakami's dead.
あいつは東洋キネマに来なかった。
He didn't come to Toyo
ど
Cinema.
ういう意味？
What's that supposed to mean?
う。奴の死は、どこで確かめられる？
Where can we confirm his death?
水道橋に行けば証拠が見せられる。
Go to Suido Bridge, you'll be able to see the proof.
Oh,
Oh, no. Then let's go. Hanazawa, no! He's trying to help, but... Hanazawa easily drank down his coffee and put on his mantle and military hat. Copying him, I drank my coffee before chasing after him.
ちょっと待てよ。検証って今から。何もわざわざこんな雨の中。
Sorry, still a little bit sick. Would Minakami go to the cinema after getting kidnapped? Well, I don't know. Wouldn't they have altered his actions? Yeah, possibly. The bridge. Bridges are never a good idea. Do you know what happens there? Yeah, he died. He got hung from the bridge. Wait, you're gonna verify it right this second? You're gonna go through all that trouble in this rain?
時間跳躍が存在するという確信を。
I'd like to confirm that time travel exists right away.
だったら俺も。
Me too,
明
but
日また戻る。
I'll come back tomorrow. Wait for me. Kawase's shoulders slumped. After seeing us off, he closed the door. It was raining harder now. The bright lightning made me
行
dizzy.
くぞ。
Let's go.
傘は？
What about your umbrella?
いい。
I'm fine.
でもこの豪雨だ。さすがにマント1枚じゃ。
But in this downpour, one mantle isn't.
軍人は手が塞がってはならない。
Soldier can't afford to have his hands occupied.
そう。
I see. I guess that was true. Did he grab his sword? It didn't explicitly say he grabbed his sword. Maybe it considers that part of his mantle. It was past the evening rush, so the streetcar was totally empty. Being the pathetic person I was, I sat down immediately. But Hanazawa stood with his legs apart, not holding onto the leather straps, and propped himself up with his sword. Okay, well, he brought his sword then. He was so stable that if he were to be covered in bronze, he could be displayed as a statue.
黙っていたようで悪かったな。
Sorry for not saying anything.
ああ、別に。水臭いとは思ったが、お前と再会していること自体に驚きはなかったよ。
Huh? Oh, don't worry about it. I thought it was pretty cold, but seeing you again wasn't all that surprising.
しかし、お前を見る川瀬の目は、まるで捨て猫みたいだ。昔から変わらない。
The look in Kawase's eyes as he watched you leave was just like an abandoned cat's. He hasn't changed since back then.
程度に来て、川瀬がお前を探さない方が。
Kawase shouldn't have gone looking for you when he came to the
川
capital.
瀬と再会したのは
Seeing Kawase again was a total coincidence.
意外だ。
That's surprising.
帝大の池がそれは見事だと言うから言ってみれば、石橋の上で川瀬とたまたま鉢合わせたのだ。
I heard the pond at the Imperial University was a sight to behold, so I went. Then happened to run into Kawase on top of the stone bridge.
それは喜んだだろうな。
He was overjoyed, I'm
顔
sure.
を覆って崩れ落ちた。
Covered his face and collapsed.
まさかの号泣。
Don't tell me he started sobbing.
だが俺は声を聞くまで川瀬だとは気づかなかった。
Till I heard his voice, though, I didn't realize it was Kawase.
あざ一つない顔を見たのは初めてだったからな。
Oh. Oh, we're getting into some trauma. Okay. Because it was the first time I'd seen him without a single bruise on his face. Hanazawa said matter-of-factly, but that felt sad to me.
今じゃあいつ、結構モテるんだぞ。すれ違った女は必ず皆振り返る。
He's pretty popular now. All the girls turn around when he passes by.
お前もついに女の後ろ姿を追う年になったのか。
Even you've reached an age where you'll look back at all the girls, huh?
まあ、私は別に女子供に興味はない。ただ、いい匂いがしたからだな。
I feel like this is one of those where it should be edited to the to be continued meme. I have no interest in women. They just smell nice, so. Yeah, Tamamori, we know. We're aware.
もう
Drop
ダメよ
it, okay?
それが3ヶ月前だ。それから奴はお前と水上のことをよく聞かせてくれた。
That was 3 months ago. Since then, he's told me all about you and Minakami. I hadn't heard a thing from him, though.
池田さんにはあったか？川瀬の養父だ。
Have you met Ikeda-san, Kawase's adoptive father?
ああ。そうお互いを語り合うことはなかったがな。
Yes, but we've never spoken to each other.
そうか。
See,
何が知りたい？
there's something you wanted to know?
別に何も。
Not really. I was no longer a part of the Irregulars regiment. I'd stopped thinking about Ikeda-san. They met but never spoke. Yeah, In no time, the streetcar had reached Suido Bridge. We came to the bridge and slowly crossed it using the handrail. This was the first time I was confirming it. Possible I didn't want to see anything. Trigger warning. I don't know what they're going to find on the bridge. But this is where Minakami dies. So, I wanted Hanazawa to tell me it was a dream. I wanted Kawase to scold me and tell me, "What are you, an idiot?" However, the moment I saw it, I could no longer stand. Bud, someone was supporting my
ど
back.
うした？
What's wrong? Wrapped around the handrail was a thin cord. Floated on the wind and rain, there was nothing on the end.
怪人がやったのだ。神保町の 怪人が。
The monster did it. The Phantom of Jinbocho.
ここから水上を。
Minakami was pushed from here.
だがこれだけでは本当にお前が時間跳躍し未来を当てた証拠にはならない。
But this isn't enough proof that you've really traveled through time and that you were right about the future.
お前が先にここに来て縄を結びそのように見せる細工をした可能性もある。
Possibly you came here earlier to tie a rope and make it look that way to trick me.
私はそんな。
I wouldn't do such a...
分かっている。お前に人を騙す理由はない。そもそもお前はそんな鬼人ではない。
I know. You have no reason to deceive anyone. Besides, you're not that crazy.
花沢。
証拠はない。だが俺はお前を信じる。
There's no proof,
この震えで
but I believe you.
十分にわかる。
Your shaking is enough proof. He was a kind soul. Even make a guy like Kawase cry. As long as Hanazawa believed me, it felt like I could believe myself. Crazy, insert the I was crazy once copy pasta here.
水上を殺した犯人の居場所を
I know
知ってる。
where Minakami's murderer lives.
そいつは私が働く梅鉢堂の地下にいるのだ。
It's in the basement at Umebachido, where I work.
俺が行ってそいつを叩き切ってやろう。
I'll go and slice him to ribbons.
絶対にダメだ。お前はそう言って殺された。
Absolutely not! You said that before and you were killed.
だからあいつが出てこられないように扉は塞いだんだ。
I blocked the door so he wouldn't get out. So how? I was breaking. I was losing myself. The nail marks on my right hand were burning and painful.
こんなの二度も三度も繰り返し
The
たら
basement, dear God.
私は
Well, wonder who's dying this time. Yeah, if I have to repeat this 2 or 3 more times,
雨
I'll...
漏り
Kamamori. Azawa pulled the honorary silver watch out of his
お前
pocket.
が持っていてくれ。
Take this.
自分が信じられなくなったらこの時計を見て思い出せ。
That'll make it easy when this inevitably restarts. Whenever you begin to lose faith in yourself, look at this watch and remember.
この先また時間を繰り返してもこの秒針を見自分が本来どの時を生きているかを思い出せ。
Even if you have to go back in time again after this, look at the second hand and remember what time you actually live in.
ありがとう。だが
But I didn't know how to go back in time.
時間は必ず戻せる。お前さえ諦めなければその方法は探し出せるはずだ。
You'll definitely be able to go back in time. As long as you don't give up, you should be able to find a way. I found myself leaning against his chest. My umbrella fell. Without saying a word, Hanazawa brought me into his mantle.
ずっと一人だった
Hey,
の
look, I
だ
stole your watch. Thief chops off hand. Perfect scenario for a do you need a hand joke? Oi, destiny. Ugh. I've been alone for so long. Had my hallucinations follow me around so I wouldn't be alone, but this was the warmth of a living human being. That's when I realized just how freezing cold I had been.
お前の家泊まってもいいか。梅鉢島には帰れない。
We're gonna take a short break. I need to check when something happens in the storyline. So we're gonna take a 10-minute break. Everyone get up, get a stretch in, do what you need to do. I'm gonna run an ad while we're on break. And then we will be back, okay? Okay. Break time. I'm in bed, so I guess I'm already resting. Well, that's fair. Get some water, everyone. Bio if you need to. We will be back in 10 minutes. Okay? Okay. Okay, we're back. I just had to check on something. Because I wasn't sure where it happened in the story. There's one... there's a couple things I know that are brought up just to keep y'all safe. So I just had to check where it was where it happened in the story. Welcome back. Thank you. Okay. I'm back into it. Can I stay at your place? I can't go back to Umebachiro. From atop the bridge, Hanazawa stopped a taxi, then got in next to me. Can't go back to Umebachiro. Not while that freak is still there. Hi, back. I'm Shiro. Hi, Shiro. 5 times with Dan or over. Back to Tamamori. Yeah, back to Tamamori having a bad time. Wireframe Dan is our vibe check during stream. When I told him that, he told the driver his address in Asakusa, and we gradually drew further away from Umebachiro. The moment I felt relief from getting away from this town was disrupted by a feeling of unease. Just curled myself up and watched the dark capital.
行き先を吾妻橋の酒造に変更してくれ。わかるだろ。
Bad time. Sans reference. Change the destination to the brewery by Azuma Bridge. You know it, right?
はい。
Yes, sir.
吾妻橋
Azuma
うち
Bridge?
に寄る前にお前に紹介したい友人がいる。
Before we head to my place, there's a friend I'd like to introduce you to.
それってもしかしてノコギリ軍刀とか携帯ランプを発明した友人か
Is it the friend who invented your saw sword and portable lamp?
実際に見せてもらったぞ
You actually showed them to me.
なら話が早い。奴に時間跳躍について相談しようと思ってな。
That saves me some time then.
お前とも話が合うはずだ。
I thought we could ask him about time travel. He should be able to speak to you on your level. The taxi dropped us off in front of a large mansion. There were lights bursting through the dark, rainy sky.
なんだこの家池田邸の日ではない
What's with this house? Ikeda Manor's got nothing on
酒
this.
造家の家だからな。これくらいでなければ酒を貯蔵する囲い桶がいくつも入らんのだろう。
Because it's the home of a sake brewer. If it wasn't this big, all their storage barrels of sake wouldn't fit. No sooner had Hanazawa pressed the doorbell than a woman appeared from the distant entrance. It was a one-eyed maid. Her black western umbrella complemented her eerie outfit.
ようこそお越しくださいました。
Welcome. Please come in. She invited us inside the mansion with an alluring and gentle voice. She then led us into a large foyer with a grand staircase. There was a just as large paper lantern above. I was pretty positive that not even the Takarazuka review had a stage like this.
そちらの方は
Who is your guest?
彼は私の友人。
He's my
今
friend.
晩の挨拶程度に。
We've stopped by this evening to say hello. Gee, that's gorgeous. Yeah, I would live there.
それではすぐに坊ちゃまをお呼びします。
In that case, I'll call for the young master right away.
どうぞおかけになってお待ちくださいまし。
Please, have a seat while you wait. She quickly lifted her skirt as she went up the stairs. Sat on the sofa, watching her in a daze.
どうした？
What's wrong?
いや怖そうな人だと思ってな
Nothing. I was just thinking she seemed like a scary person. I was trying to speak my mind quietly, but the maid suddenly turned
お
around.
寒かったでしょ日本酒をご用意しますから
Tamamori, maybe don't say your
Those are
inside
the
thoughts
tomato
out loud. You must be cold. I'll prepare some Japanese sake, so please warm yourselves up. Hanazawa bowed his head silently.
すみません私は下戸でした
Excuse me, I don't drink.
それでは別のものを
Then I'll arrange for something else.
にゃ
I must have been a pretty rude guy to turn down sake from a sake brewer. How awkward. Having nothing else to do, I sat down in a chair.
しかしこの家の主は相当な金持ちだ
Anyway, the owner of this home must be crazy rich.
俺も初めて訪れた時は息を飲んだ。
Even I gasped the first time I visited.
こんなところで暮らしてみたいなと思っていたが これはちょっと息が詰まるな。
I thought I'd like to live in a place like this one day, but it's a little stifling. The lighting looked incredibly bright, making me lower my eyes.
よく落ち着いていられるな。
You're pretty calm.
週に一度は訪れているからな。見慣れたものだ。
I visit once a week, I'm used to it.
相当仲良しなんだな。
You guys must get along pretty well. We had been estranged for 8 years. Of course Hanazawa would be able to find a good friend during that time. I was starting to feel like I didn't want to meet him. I was jealous. Not of Kawase either. The door rattled as it opened, and a woman with a similar face to the maid from earlier appeared. The cups clattered as she came up to us, showing how awkward she was.
滝沢様。あ、違う。富沢。あら、広沢。矢沢。あ、梅沢様。
Takizawa-sama, no, Tomizawa, Hirozawa, Yazawa, Umezawa-sama.
こちらは熱燗。乗るか。
Oh no! Here's some hot sake, warm sake, no, sun-warmed sake. She finally touched the cup she offered him.
人肌ほどに温めた日本酒でございます。
Girl! It's Japanese sake warmed to body temperature. Wow, this woman was all over the place.
お連れの方は下戸と伺いましたので、ぶどう、いちご？あら、ぶどう。いえ、果物汁をご用意しました。
Since your friend said he doesn't drink, we prepared some grape... Strawberry? Oh, grape. Well, we prepared some fruit juice for him. I didn't think she'd present it like miso soup. When I hesitantly brought it to my mouth, a landscape of apple trees shrouded by a morning mist came to mind. I looked around the area from a small hill, but couldn't find grapes or strawberries. But that was no longer important. This probably would have been even better mixed with Kalsby. I scooted back and sank into the chair. The doors on the second floor opened. The maid from before came out.
熱燗のお味はいかがでしょう？
Did you enjoy the taste of the hot sake?
やはり熱燗か。人肌と聞いて油断しておりました。
It really was hot sake. I heard body temperature, so I was careless.
まあ、なんてこと。サザン、また缶の名を間違え
She's
た。
all over the place. Oh no! Oh my, how terrible. Sazan, did you get the name of the sake wrong again?
ごめんなさいませ、梅沢様。すぐにお手当ていたします。
I'm so sorry, Umezawa-sama. I'll treat your burns right away.
それにしても見事に完売している。これを味わうためならやけどなど安いものだ。
Still, what fine sake it is. As long as I get to taste this, a burn is no big deal.
富沢様。
She cannot. We got along rather well with the maids. I hid my pouting lips with my cup as I glared at
ど
Hanazawa.
うした？
What's wrong?
いや、
Nothing.
お前も飲むか？
Are you going to drink too?
だから私は下戸だと言ってるだろう。匂い
How
を
would
嗅い
you
だだけで
treat
酔
the
っ払
burn
う。
anyway, assuming he burned his mouth? Yeah, I don't know that she thought about that. Said I don't drink. Just smelling it is enough to get me drunk.
特な体質だ。
That's a unique condition. Hanazawa said, drinking down the rest of his hot sake with an even more somber face. The reason I couldn't even imagine Hanazawa drunk was probably because he didn't have any other side to him. What a lucky guy being able to live true to himself like that. Suddenly, the doors on the second floor burst
い
open.
や、花沢くん、遅れてすみません。
Hello, Hanazawa-kun. Sorry for taking so
こちら
long.
こそ夜分遅くに訪ねて
Sorry
す
for
まない。
visiting so late.
いいんですよ。僕と君との仲じゃないですか。ところで今日は何？
I knew about this one. Sorry. I knew about this one. It's fine. We're friends, aren't we? Anyway, what can I do for you two? The person descending the stairs so exuberantly was Kijuro Hikawa, aka the regular customer at Umebachiro, Professor. I automatically stood up and took the piece of paper from my pocket. Don't tell me the address written on the scrap of paper led to this huge mansion.
玉森くん。
Oh no! Ah! that's when Professor missed a step. Young Master! He fell down 30 steps,
Emotional damage.
bouncing like a car tire all the way down. I feel bad. I feel bad laughing. The maids rushed over in a panic once Professor hit the ground. Hard. Both Hanazawa and I were dumbstruck, but Professor was able to move again pretty quickly.
坊ちゃま
Young Master,
大丈夫大丈夫だ
I'm alright, I'm alright.
医者をお呼びいたします。脳外科の最高位を今。
I'll call for a doctor for the best brain surgeon.
いいからそういうのいいから一剣
Why can I only imagine him in the Family Guy death pose? I'm fine, there's no need for that, Hitotsurugi.
あ、ですが。
But Professor approached us all smiles as he dragged one leg.
そんなことよりどうしましょう玉森くんに花沢くんいっぺんにお友達が来てしまうなんてああどちらを先にもてなせば
Oh my gosh! Anyway, what am I gonna do with myself? Tamamori-kun and Hanazawa-kun. Both my friends are here at the same time. Who should I welcome
知り合い
first?
だったのか玉森
Professor, why are you such a weirdo? You know the meme where Peter falls down the stairs? That's just that. Gosh, how I hate how I think sometimes. You know him, Tamamori?
ああ梅鉢島の常連さん
Not by choice, Hanazawa. Not by choice. Yeah, he's a regular customer at Umebachido.
どういうかノコギリ軍刀と携帯ランプの発明者ってまさか
That means the one who invented the saucer and the portable lamp was the nickname Professor. Now it made perfect sense.
足は大丈夫か
Is your leg alright?
大丈夫ですよこのくらい
I'm okay, this is nothing.
ですがお坊ちゃま、右足、あ、左足、いえ、右足の裾がお汚れに。
Young Master, your right leg, left leg, no, the hem of your right pant leg is dirty. The maid brushed away the dirt with one sweep. But indifferent to his own pain, Professor looked at me with stars sparkling in his eyes.
どうしましょうああ右目がうずく
What am I gonna do? My right eye is twitching.
一剣がおかきいたします。
I'll scratch it for
君
you.
たちはもう下がっていてくれて構わないありがとう
Why is he such a freak? Also, his maids are freaks too. You two can go now, thank you.
では、失礼いたします。
Very well, please excuse us. The maids silently bowed their heads before returning to their respective rooms to the left and right. Hanazawa watched them as he muttered something.
そう美しくなったな
Oh, Hanazawa, shut up. Shut up. They're even more beautiful than
直
before.
接言ってあげてください彼女たち喜びますから
Yeah. Tell them that yourself, they'll be happy to hear it. Hanazawa suddenly smiled. He really smiled around Kawase and me, though.
玉森彼女たちはいくつに見えた
Sees them every week. Tamamori, how old do they look?
私と同い年かそれより少し上
What is this game? Yeah, honestly, around the same age as me, or maybe a
彼
little
女
older?
たちは御年74歳だ
They're 74 years old.
整形ですよ シワを取ったり背骨を調整したり、体に負担がかからない程度に改造しているんです。
What? Reconstructive surgery, facelifts, spinal readjustments, just enough to reconstructions as to not be a burden on their bodies.
改造って体をか？
Reconstruction? Reconstruction of the body?
妹のサザンは美意識が高くて、次は一剣より鼻を高くしたいとかなんとか。
The younger sister, Sazan, has an eye for beauty, and Hito Tsurugi wanted looks she could be proud of.
飽くなき欲求だな。
Insatiable desires.
そうだ、玉森くんもいらっしゃったことですし、また僕の発明を紹介してもいいですか？
Oh, right, since you're here too, Tamamori-kun, could I show you some of my inventions? I'm afraid. Professor precariously twirled round and round up the stairs. I held onto the railing so I wouldn't fall as I took one step at a time. The unusual hallway, which looked like a Western mansion and a Japanese castle put together, went on and on. The designs on the walls were creepy, almost making me want to walk with my eyes closed. The professor talked endlessly about the hot sake brought out for Hanazawa earlier. Hanazawa nodded in earnest. I grabbed onto him and whispered into his ear. I want to leave. I hate the design of the wall, to be honest. Yeah, same.
腹でも痛いか？
Does your stomach hurt or something?
そうじゃない。この人絶対おかしいぞ。
That's not it. This guy is definitely weird.
それは博士の発明品を見てから言え。
Try and say that after you've seen his inventions.
もうおかしさがにじみ出ている。
It's already exuding weirdness.
どうしたんですか、二人とも。
What's going on, you two?
そしてこれが人の声真似をする小鳥のブリキです。
Amamori. Run. Run. And then, this is a tin toy of a baby bird that can mimic people's voices.
さらにこれも見てください。スケートにエンジンを取り付けたものです。
And then look at this, it's a scooter with an engine attached. With this, you don't have to use your legs, see? He said as he burst through a sliding door, ending up in the adjoining room.
未舗装の道を走ることだってできるんですよ。
I can even drive down unpaved roads. I heard the awful sound of something being smashed to pieces. But I wasn't all that interested, so I looked away from the tin toys and began to speak in a less than impressed voice.
こんな役にも立たんもの、よく真剣に作れるな。
It takes making these useless things pretty seriously, huh?
それもまた才能だ。
All part of his genius.
それより、これ外していいか？さっきから勝手に動いて気持ちが悪い。
Whatever, can I take this off now? It's been moving on its own this whole time and it's creeping me out. Oh my god! Oh my. They were cat ears that vibrated and made noise. Their movement seemed to be sound activated, so the scooter engine was making them respond at full strength.
なあ、
Hey, we
やっぱ
really
り帰
should
ろう。
go. Hey! Hanazawa was wearing something like a half red sphere on his head. Every time he inhaled, a rod that looked like an enoki mushroom extended.
何の意味があるのだ、それは。
Is there some point to that?
嘘発見器だ。この形である理由は相手に不安感を与えないためであるという。
It's a lie detector. It looks like this so the person wearing it doesn't get nervous.
安心より不信感がすごいぞ。
It's way more suspicious than reassuring.
ともかく何か質問してみろ。俺が嘘をつけばこの棒が大きく伸びる仕組みとなっている。
I've been sorting some music while watching, and I come back to this. That's the professor, right? Does it imply he wants a cat boy? Well, he did invent cat ears that move. Anyway, try asking me something. If I'm lying, it's set up so these rods will extend farther out.
恥ずかしくないのか？
Aren't you embarrassed?
死ぬほど恥ずかしい。
So embarrassed I could die.
嘘に偏っているぞ。ノリノリではないか。
It says you're lying. You're enjoying
そう
this.
か。俺はノリノリなのか。
I see. I guess I am enjoying this.
もういい。博士がすごい発明家だってことは分かった。
Enough already. I get it. Professor is a great
本
inventor.
当ですか？
Really? Professor came up to us as he brushed off his knees. After skillfully fixing the shoji, he turned his cheerful face towards us.
嬉しいです。もしよかったらこのスケートの疾走感を君もぜひ。
I'm so happy, so very happy. You're welcome to test how fast the scooter will go if you'd like.
お断りします。
I'll pass. In the middle of all this, a faint knock came from the
お
door.
入り。
Come in.
失礼します。お坊ちゃま、研究所の方からお電話が来ております。
Pardon me, young master. There's someone from the laboratory on the phone.
ああ、今行くよ。じゃあ玉森くん、花沢くん、しばらくここで待っていてください。
Okay, I'm coming. Well, Tamori-kun, Hanazawa-kun, please wait here for a moment. Maid closed the shoji. That must have been the younger sister, Sazan-san.
で、誰からの電話だったんだい？
So, who called?
誰
Who
で
was
した
it again? Their pointless conversation came through the door. When I let out a long sigh, Hanazawa finally removed the lie
あ
detector.
れを陸軍技術大尉として留めておくのはもったいない。
I don't know how to react to this development about Professor. I had been spoiled. I knew that he did work at the laboratory that Hanazawa works at. I did not know that he just creates weird little gadgets. It's such a waste to keep holding him back as Lieutenant of Army Technology.
確かにな。おもちゃ会社でも起こせばいいのに。
He should start a toy factory or
やつ
something.
は自分のものを手放すのが嫌いだそうな。
Apparently he doesn't like parting with his things.
そうなのか？私はブリキの金魚じょうろをもらったぞ。
Really? He gave me a tin goldfish watering can.
贈り物としては別だ。
It's different when it's a gift. He really was a strange
主
character.
人も鬼人なら女中も鬼人だな。今のサザンさんなんてもうボケが来ているんじゃないか？
Weird is an understatement. At this rate, I'm half expecting him to be a furry too. Honestly, wouldn't put it past him. If the master is odd, the servants must be too. That woman just now, Sazan-san, she's already senile,
あ
right?
れは昔からだ。サザン曰く、親の腹にいた時、姉の一剣に脳を半分持っていかれたそうな。
This game gives me whiplash. She's been like that for a long time. According to Sazan, her older sister Hitotsurugi took half her brain when they were in their mother's womb. It didn't seem to be a joke, so it was extra scary.
しかし博士というのは発明博士とも医学博士とも取れるのだな。
Still, I guess he could be considered a professor for his inventions, but also as a professor of medicine, huh?
どちらの学会からも追放されているがな。
He was driven out of both of those fields.
だと思った。だろ
I'm guessing.
だと思った。
Yeah, probably. Professor had the ability to give shape to his fantasies. I only made fantasies through literature, but that may not have been quite the same in the visible world. Anazawa wandered around, then picked up a bird made of tin. I would never have guessed that he was driven out of those fields.
それでもあれは 俺の親友でな。
Yet he's my best friend. Best friend. Professor Hikawa. Hanazawa's best friend.
ノアの箱舟を知っているか？
Do you know about Noah's Ark?
いや、
No.
人の浅ましさに怒りを持った神が大雨を降らし、地上を海に変えてしまう話だ。
A story about God's wrath towards the wickedness of men. He sent down torrential rains, turning the entire world into an ocean. Definitely sounded like one of those stories in the books from the Salvation Army distributed.
箱舟に乗って生き延びたノアは、干上がった大地を探すために鳩を放した。鳩はそのうちオリーブの枝を加えて帰還し、大地の現れをノアに伝えた。
Noah survived by sailing on an ark, and to search for land he released a dove. Eventually, the dove returned with an olive branch in its beak, informing Noah of dry lands. Doves have been a symbol of peace ever since.
博士は俺を鳩に例えた。だが、鳩が皆オリーブを加
Okay,
え
well,
る必
now we
要は
find
ない
out
と
Hanazawa's got a
博
complex
士は言った。
about something. Not surprising, everyone else does. Professor compared me to a dove, but he said there was no need for all doves to carry olive branches in their beaks.
花沢。
What was his point exactly?
博士は誰しも自由であるべきだと俺に教えてくれたのだ。
Professor said that everyone should be free. That's what he taught me.
お前もきっと博士を理解できる。
I'm sure you understand him too.
にゃ。
Sawa seemed like a different person somehow. Must have noticed how shocked I was. He set the tin toy down and lowered his eyes as if he were trying to search for the right words. Suddenly, hasty footsteps approached.
お待たせしました。
Sorry for the wait.
研究所から何用だった？
What did the lab want?
観測機に異常があったらしく、明日の朝一番に修繕に向かうと伝えました。
The
それだけ
observation
です。
equipment seems to be out of order. They told me to repair it first thing tomorrow morning. That was all.
そうか。故障が多いな。
See, there have been a lot of things breaking down lately.
僕としては完璧のはずなのですが、
Worked perfectly for me, though. It seemed like they both had their own troubles. The conversation appeared to be over, but I added on my own mumbling.
博士はどうやら医学にも通じているようで、
Professor, you also seem to be connected to the medical field.
ええ、主に移植を得意としています。
Yes, I mainly specialize in transplants.
それって例えば男の子を女の子に変えることってできるんですか？
Amamori, I don't know what you're gonna say. Oh, could you change a boy into a girl?
なんだと？
私がどうこうしたいとかそういうわけではないんですよ。ただちょっと知り合いに。
It's not something I want done to myself. There's just someone I know. I meant Naoshi-kun. I'd never expressed a desire to become a girl, but I was kind of looking for ways to make things right with him.
性転換なんて簡単ですよ。まず男性器を切断してですね、増膣には治療を。
I'm not reading that out loud, Professor! I'm not reading that out loud. The answer is yes.
詳しいことは
I don't need the details, I'm just...
ごめんなさい。気分を害してしまいましたか。花沢くん、どうしましょう。
Sorry, did I make you ill? Hanazawa-kun, what should I
勝て
do?
ば治ろ
He'll feel better if he throws up.
ということで受け止めますから。
Ah! Why is he a freak? In that case, I'll catch it for you, Tamamori-kun. Go right ahead.
大丈夫ですからもう帰ります。
I'm fine, so I'll be
う。
leaving.
ならば手っ取り早く本題に移る。
Then why don't we hurry up and move on to why we're here in the first place? I guess we had still been in the middle of our
実は
conversation.
この玉森を連れてきたのは他でもない。数日前から時間跳躍に悩まされているという。
Why is he like this? all intents and purposes, Professor would be a character that I would like, but he's such a freak. I don't. He's a little much for me. Actually, there was only one reason I brought Tamamori here. He's been tormented by time travel over the last few days. After a brief moment of shock, Professor's brows furrowed.
一応嘘発見器をつけるか
For now, why don't we try the lie detector?
絶対に嫌だ。
Absolutely not.
いいえ、そんなことをしなくとも僕は玉森くんのことを信じますよ。
No, even without it, I believe him. I hadn't even
前例
spoken.
がありますから。
Pop. Why did it put on auto? Again, tuning in, listening with barely any context is even worse. Yeah. No, even without it, I believe him. I hadn't even spoken about it yet, and he believed me.
前例がありますから。
There's precedent, after
詳
all.
しくお聞かせ願えますか？
Did you please elaborate? I looked up at Hanazawa. He silently nodded. We moved to the parlor, and I told Professor about everything that had happened up until now. He listened to the story from beginning to end. He didn't know Minakami. He didn't know Kawase. But Professor listened intently to my story about these people who were strangers to him.
つまり君は自分の意思と関係なく過去へと跳躍し、そしてたどり着いた世界でもさらに跳躍し、さらに今この世界にいると。
In other words, you traveled into the past against your will, then jumped even further from the world you reached, and now you're in this world.
そうです。
That's right.
それではまずは君の状況を整理しましょう。一剣、サザン、スクリーンを持ってきておくれ。
First, let's sort out your situation. Hitotsurugi, Sazan, please bring in the screen.
はい。
The two of them carried in something like a whiteboard.
君が最初にいた世界をイの世界とし、
A
次
will
に
be the
跳
world
躍
you
し
were
た
in
世界
first.
を
B will be the world you jumped to.
それ何なんですか？
What is that?
磁性粉末を利用した板です。こうして磁石型の鉛筆を近づけると
You made an
黒い
etch
磁性
sketch.
粉末が浮き上がって文字となり、裏で磁石を当てて
You
正
made
面
an
の
etch
文字が
sketch.
消える仕組みです。
The board that uses magnetic powder. If you bring a magnetic pencil up to it like this, the magnetic powder will come to the surface and form the letters. When you put a magnet on the back, the writing on the front will disappear.
なかなか面白い。
Pretty neat.
では話を戻します。君が最初にいた世界をイの世界とし、次に跳躍した世界をロ、そして今いるこの世界を
Now
ハの
then,
世
let's
界とし
get
ましょ
back
う。
to our conversation. The world you were in first will be A, the world you jump to next will be B, and the world you're in now will be C. Okay.
まずイの世界から君はロの世界へと行き、君は君に出会った。
First, you went from world A to world B and ran into yourself.
イの時点で君はもう一人の自分には出会っていない。なのにロの世界で君は君に出会っている。
We're
こ
getting
れがイの
scientific.
世界とロの世界の大きな違いです。
While you were in world A, you didn't meet yourself, but then you did see yourself in world B. This is the biggest difference between world A and world B.
私もそれについて疑問に思っていた。
Even I have some doubts about that.
君は無意識のうちにこの世界に並行する時間軸があることを証明したんです。
You have unknowingly proved that parallel time axes exist in this world. Parallel worlds? Terms that made my heart race had just been introduced.
そしてイの君はロの世界を経由し、さらにハの世界へと跳躍した。
And the you from world A jumped to world C from world B.
そういうことです。
Exactly.
ここで疑問が生じるな
This is where questions arise.
はい。ハの世界でイの君は一体どこへ行ったのでしょ
Yes. Just where did the A you in world C go?
いい
I was the only one who didn't understand.
う。結論から言うと、ハの世界はロの世界を内包していません。もし内包していたのなら、このハの世界にはイの君とロを経由した経験のあるイの君が三重に存在しているはずなのです。
In conclusion, world C and B aren't connected. If they were connected, there would be an AU and an AU that experienced world B, making 3 of you in world C.
ですがお話を伺う限り、 君がこの歯の世界で出会ったのは自分一人。しかもその自分の知識はロの経験がないイの君だった。
According to your story, you met only one of yourself here in World C. Plus, that self's knowledge was that of the AU that hadn't experienced B.
それはつまり
That's, in other words...
つまり歯の世界など存在しないのです。
In other words, World C doesn't exist. Professor drew a large X over it.
ここまでをもう一度ご説明しましょうか。
Shall I explain it from here one more time?
大丈夫です。続けてください。
That's okay. Please continue.
はい。君は今ロの世界を2度繰り返しているということです。
Alright, at the moment you're experiencing World B for a second time.
なんだか余計にごっちゃになりました。
This has kinda gotten way too complicated.
ごめんなさい。説明が下手でごめんなさい。
I'm sorry for explaining it so poorly.
つまりと散々言わせてもらうが、つまり
In other words, and I'll say it again, in other words, spoke Hanazawa quietly.
玉森は今ロの世界を2度も繰り返しているということだな。
Tamamori is currently repeating World B for a second time.
そうです。
That's right.
僕が今言った通りですよ。
That's
花沢くん。
precisely what I'm saying.
わかった。だがしかし玉森が最初に跳躍したロの世界がなかったことになったとは思え
I'm
な
a
い。
skedaddle as it's late. I'm sure this time traveling ain't gonna get confusing. Yeah, it's gonna get real confusing. So, get some good sleep, Destiny. Thank you for coming. Got it. But I don't think World B, where Tamamori jumped to first, has been made moot. He jumped to World B and is presently aware that he jumped to World C.
今玉森くんが体験しているこの世界を歯とはせずロの2と称しましょうか。
Instead
最
of
初に跳躍した世界をロの1としましょう。
instead of calling the world Tamamori-kun is experiencing now C, let's call it B2. We'll call the world he jumped to first B1.
つまり平行世界は広がっているというわけか。
So the parallel worlds are expanding? That was also because of me. The two men turned their eyes toward me. I looked away and bit my lip.
玉森くん、こうなった原因に何か心当たりはありませんか？
Tamamori-kun, do you have any idea how this happened? He said any idea, but I couldn't think of any one particular thing right off the bat. The only things that came to mind weren't thoughts, but two faces.
みなかみを助けようとしました。
I tried to save
友
Minakami.
情が原因か。
Friend was the cause?
他にはどうです？
Is there anything else?
怪人に追いかけられました。
I was chased by a monster.
恐怖が原因か。
Fear was the cause.
おそらくそのどちらでもないと思います。継続した気持ちではなく、もっと瞬間的な違和感に答えはあるはず
It's
です。
so confusing. I'm not sure it was either of those. It wouldn't be a continuous emotion, but a momentary discomfort. Momentary discomfort, he said, but when I tried to remember, I couldn't pin anything down. All I could say for certain was that whenever I was chased by that monster, I would jump through time.
何か思い出しましたか？
Have you remembered something? Yeah, he ends up face down in a puddle. In the middle of a rainy night. I couldn't see a thing. Could barely breathe. During the uncontrollable chills from my fear of imminent death, I
水たまりに落ちました。
fell into a puddle.
すごく深い水たまりだったんです。あっと思った時には転んで、気づいたら朝でした。
It's a really deep puddle. Before I know it, I trip. When I regain consciousness, it's morning.
ただ不思議なのは、靴も服も濡れていなくて。
You'll have to go soon. Okay. The only strange thing about it is that my shoes and my clothes aren't wet.
水、雨、あ、きっとそれですよ。
Water, rain. Ah, that's definitely it.
しかしだな、神保町は舗装が進んでいない。水たまりなんてそこら中にあるぞ。これまでだって踏んでいたはずだ。
But wait, Jinbocho isn't fully paved. Puddles are all over the place. He would have stepped in one at some point before now.
私はいつも水たまりを避けて歩いていた。
I always avoid puddles when I'm walking.
靴を汚さぬようにと。
My shoes don't get dirty.
怪人に追いかけられた時、辺りは真っ暗で何も見えなかったから、多分不用意に。
It's dark when I'm being chased by the monsters, so I can't see. I'm probably not paying attention then. Must have stepped into an area where there happened to be no drainage on the street. But puddles? I'd be cracking up if this were anyone else but me. It didn't seem like something 3 mature men would be talking about with such serious looks on their faces. Yet, at that moment, I was so overcome with emotion, I was shaking.
博士、花沢、こんばんは。本当にありがとう。
He's gonna go throw himself into a puddle, isn't he? Professor Hanazawa, thank you for this evening.
ええ。で、玉森くん、どこへ行くんですか？
Of course, Tamamori-kun, where are you going? Throw himself into a puddle. I ran out of the room.
玉森くん！
お世話になりました。
Thanks for all your help! Puddles. Puddles. Once I found that out, I no longer had any business here. When I went down the hallway at somewhat of a jog, the one I had made Hitotsurugi blocked my path.
玉森様、ご歓談の最中ではございませんか？
Tamamori-sama, weren't you in the middle of a chat?
すぐに戻らねばならない用があるのです。それでは。
There's something I need to take care of. Goodbye.
坊ちゃまとご歓談よりも。
Something more important than a conversation with the young master?
はい。
Yes.
さようでございますか。
Understood. In that case. In her hand were knives the color of moonlight. As soon as she swung that hand, I was struck to the wall. I felt like a pinned butterfly. Shouldn't have been so careless around an older woman.
坊ちゃまを癒しめる行動は、この一剣が許しません。
Oh, she's insane. Alright, cool. I, Hitotsurugi, will not allow such degrading behavior toward the young master.
癒しめるつもりなどない。
I wasn't trying to degrade him or
お
anything.
戻りくださいまし。
Please go back. She was persistent, so there was no getting through to her.
囚人が鬼人なら、使用人も鬼人か。
If the master's odd, the servants must be too.
やめてくれ、一剣！
Stop, Hitotsurugi. Professor came then on his engine-powered... Aren't they all insane? Yeah. Dismounting with ease, he immediately and carefully removed the knives.
あ、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい。
I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Professor fell to his knees and lowered his head.
一剣もさあ、許しを請うんだ。
You too, Hitotsurugi. Beg for forgiveness.
一剣！
She fell swiftly to her knees. Hanazawa, who came afterwards, also stared at the scene
許
dumbfounded.
してください、玉森くん。
Please forgive us, Tamamori-kun.
あなたはどうしてそんなに私を。
Why are you like this with me?
私はあなたの思っているような男ではない。
I'm not the man you think I am.
あなたは私を勘違いしている。
You've got me all wrong. Professor slowly lifted his face. His overly calm expression was creeping me out.
いえ、僕はかつて吾妻橋で。
No, once on Azuma Bridge,
私はそんな親父知らん。
I don't know that old man.
聞いたぞ。あなたが空想小説を好きになった理由は、とある男にあると。
You already told me the reason why you love fantasy novels is because of that old man.
私をその男の
You seem to think I know him, but you're mistaken.
勘違いなんかじゃ。
I'm not mistaken.
僕と君は通じ合っているんですよ。
You and I understand each other. It was like I was the one deceiving him. Without looking back, I started running again. I jumped out into the pouring rain, but Hanazawa was coming after me. When I reached a puzzle, he grabbed my arm.
話してくれ。
Let go!
戻らなくちゃならないんだ。私は水上を。
I have to go back. I have to save Minakami.
助けてどうする？
What's the point in saving him?
水上はお前にそうしてくれと頼んだか？
Did Minakami ask you to do this? What was he insinuating?
疑問がある。
I have
お
one
前はど
question.
うして東洋キネまで待っていたんだ？
Why did you wait at Toyo Cinema? Professor, why do you sound like a stalker, please? Yeah, he's a little freak.
は？
Huh?
俺には水上の死んだ水道橋が殺害現場のようには思えなかった。
I don't think that where Minakami died, Suido Bridge was the scene of a murder.
何が言いたいんだ？
What are you trying to
水上は
say?
自殺だ。
Minakami killed himself.
違う。怪人がそう見せかけるためにやったんだ。
No, the monster made it look that
お
way.
前には2度水上の死に立ち会う機会があった。
You had a chance to witness Minakami's death twice.
聞けよ、私の話。
Listen
し
to
かし
me.
なぜお前は水道橋で待たなかった？
Why didn't you wait for him at Suido Bridge?
なぜ2度目の水上の死に疑問を持たなかった？ 俺ならこれが他殺であるか自殺であるか、それを知るために水道橋で水上を待つ。
Makes a good point. After the first 2 times, why didn't you question how Minakami died? If it were me and I wanted to know whether it was a murder or a suicide, I would wait for Minakami at Suido Bridge.
お前にわかるか。いきなりわけのわからんところに投げ出されて、皆に白い目で見られて、自分のドッペルゲンゲルに出会って。あ、私は。
Don't you get it? I'm suddenly thrown into something that makes absolutely no sense. Then everyone looks at me with their cold eyes. Even meeting my doppelganger.
お前はただ水上の自殺を認めたくないだけだ。
You just don't want to admit Minakami killed himself.
水上を救うことはできない。なぜなら水上がお前を必要としていないからだ。
You can't save him because for some reason he doesn't need you.
なんてこと言うんだお前。
でも
Same.
僕たちは違います。
But we're different. Professor came at that moment, holding an umbrella over me and
僕
Hanazawa.
たちは君を必要としている。
We need you.
本物の親友になりましょう。ね。
Let's become true friends, okay? Hanazawa gently let go of my hand.
そう。
I wonder if Minakami said something harsh on purpose and was actually lying. Maybe. You were the one who told me, weren't you? That time would definitely bring me back. To not give up. You may have been saying those words for yourself from the start, but they saved me, because you believed me. I was finally able to believe myself.
勝手に
You
勝手に仲良くやってろ。
You two be friends
玉
then.
森、
I loved the Hanazawa that kept his cool no matter what happened. Felt disappointed by the Hanazawa with the cold sweat being washed away by the rain. Why did Kawase and I look up to a guy like
あ、
this?
玉森くん。
I continued to glare at those eyes with resentment, and then I jumped into the puddle behind me. And we're back. Nobody died this time! I was suddenly on the streetcar. I was the only passenger. Really, the only one. I was feeling restless, so I crossed my arms, tried to make a somewhat serious face. Somehow managed to look like an intelligent and sensible student who did housework to pay for his lodgings. Eventually, elderly people came shuffling on board. Not just 1 or 2. You gotta go for supper. Okay, well, let me finish this and then we'll end for today, and we'll work on this another day. In no time, I was surrounded on all sides. Feeling like a captured go piece, I moved away from my seat. Ikai Bathhouse sure is great. Never get tired of that view of Mount Fuji. My eyes are bad, so I can't tell the difference between the painting and the real thing anyway. What a bunch of noisy old hags. Oh my, I'm sorry for being so loud. Oh, you're fine. Sorry for taking your seat, too. Don't worry about it. Oh, those glasses sure do make you look smart. They have a different shine to them than my old reading glasses. When had the streetcar become bound for hell? And we're on Route 3! We're gonna end it there! Thank you guys for coming! Let's see, is there anyone that we can raid into that's playing something not necessarily as unhinged as this? We can go watch art, or we can go watch a game called Outer Wilds. Which one do you guys think? Thanks for coming. Button. This button.
セーブするのです。
I won't be able to stream tomorrow. I have a doctor's appointment tomorrow. So, unless I stream like late. Like, not even starting until like 5, but art, though I'll be closing Twitch. Okay. We will go see, Mystic, who is doing art. Never mind, I think Mystic ended. Mystic ended. Okay, never mind. I guess we won't go see what they're doing. We will go to see what Pixie is doing. So go say hi to Pixie for me. And yeah, we'll stream again at some point. Okay, let's get going.